Welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, November 26th. So we're at our weekly Jupyter contributor meeting with the front ends and the notebook, the front ends, including notebook, lab, server, and kernels, as well as accessibility. We do have a a few items on the agenda, and I think up first is Mike, who's not able to attend. I can briefly go over his points and share them here. They're also in the agenda as well. So first is any interest, or he notes if he's asking a question here if there's any interest in having Zulip notification on releases as IPython does, and there's a link here. See, I'll post it in the chat as well. To the blog for IPython, and there's a thumbs up from Andre.
I think it would be nice to have on the web just kind of for more visibility and publicity and potentially more people trying pre-releases.
Okay. Can you all hear me by any chance? Is my audio? Wait,
Yeah.
I just got.
Audio is good.
Okay, I think so. My sound on my end is I'm hearing a lot of squeaky voice very quickly. So
Yeah, I can hear you well on my end. Yeah, as well.
Yeah, I can hear you well too.
sorry about that. I missed part of the last minute. Yeah.
So you announced like Mike's bullet point, and then I said that I think it would be cool just for added publicity and potentially more people trying pre-release versions, as well as release versions, but in particular pre-release versions. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Andre. I wonder if it might be nice to add a note on the meeting notes
I'll know.
just for Mike as well.
Would other people agree with this point, or should I note it as from myself personally, or like as a consensus?
I think this sounds like a good idea, I guess, right? For that would mean creating a API key, I suppose. Like looking at the workflow, it seems like need to provide a couple of secrets for that Zulip bot.
Yeah, I think so.
I can go over Mike's next bullet point here. So there's a large PR queue, and there's a in JupyterLab more than 120 PRs, and he's asking here if there's maybe a need for more people with permissions to merge or code owners, and he's happy to schedule a dedicated call for PR reviews to help mentor contributors to take more lead in reviews.
It would be awesome, yeah, if there would be a call and right people participating in it. I guess the question is if there are people, like I'm not sure there are people currently present right here who would require training and would be more actively participating in reviews. So like the sourcing of those people who would attend those calls, I think is like the biggest task, right?
Can we just take a quick poll of hands? Are there any people here that don't currently have merge rights, or even if you do have merge rights, hesitate to merge things that would come to a call like this and find it valuable? Okay, we have 2 people so far. I think
Okay.
that would be a huge, that would like double or a third, whatever, 33% more the number of people actively merging PRs. So
Sure, that
great.
was awesome.
Wait, I think even William put his hand up. No, maybe not. Okay, we'll record that as a success in the notes.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, maybe we can. I'm not sure if like taking over a later part of this call, if there's ever a time where we don't fill the hour, or if scheduling a separate call or anything like that. But I think with the coming holidays, maybe this will be the case more often, where we could use the later portions of this hour to review PRs. Right. Thanks for taking note there on Mike's points, everyone. I think up next is Jeremy.
Yeah, a quick update. So we have the blog post for Jupyter 4.5 Notebook 7.5 published now on Jupyter blog. It's mostly based on the user-facing changelogs. So thanks everybody who contributed to the changelog as well. So don't hesitate to share it around and invite people to update their JupyterLab or Jupyter Notebook installs. So far, I haven't seen any big issue with these releases. There is one about copy-paste issues that has been reported, but it's not clear yet whether it may be related to that new release. So apart from that one, so far so good, I guess. And related to these releases, there is also JupyterLab 0.7, which was released today, and the user-facing deployment on the Jupyter website has also been updated. So if you put that link in the meeting notes, you can try it right away. And yeah, finally, managed to get back to this failing CI on the releaser repo, which was blocking our move to the NPM trusted publishers. I managed to find the issue, which was related to a version of the PyPI server that is used by the releaser, which was not working with Python 3.13. It's a known issue tracked in the upstream repo. But now there is another PR that needs to get in, which is about supporting the new NPM 11, which pretty much just requires us to always specify a tag when we tag a pre-release, especially in a dry run, which is what happens in the check release workflow. So I think that's the only one left before we can move forward with the NPM trusted publishers. Then we can try to update to node 24 on the maintainer tools base setup action. And hopefully this time it will not break the CIs. And after that, yeah, move the whole all of the 105 JupyterLab packages to use the trusted publishers. So I was checking the other day on npm.js.com. I think they pushed the deadline a little bit. They were like going to drop support for the classic tokens, and I think yeah, now it says December 9. So we're not there yet, so we still have a bit of time. properly to the approach. Okay, that's it for me.
That seems like that supply chain attack that we saw the other day, and not in our project personally, but across NPM and hundreds of NPM projects happened just hours before their first deadline for the for what was it, the securing the tokens. So anyway, it feels like it didn't affect us. At least we don't have the telltale repositories that that the attack creates. But I can see NPM like pushing as hard as they can to try to get people to move over. So thanks for taking that up, Jeremy.
Yep. And thanks, Jeremy, for sharing this. I think up next is Jason.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that I'm working on the RSPack potential migration from Webpack. So Jeremy did like 90% of the effort a year ago when RSPack is a new bundler written in Rust, and its claim to fame is that it's compatible with Webpack. So it should be very easy to lift and shift from Webpack over to RSPack. And crucially for us, the module federation system that all our pre-built modules are built on. The author of the module federation system is helping. It feels like helping, or at least encouraging, or the module federation story inside of RSPack. So RSPack does support the module federation. In fact, it feels like we might get a better story there. The person that did module federation that allows us to do all the JupyterLab pre-built extensions posted a while ago and said essentially, okay, the Webpack implementation of module federation is falling behind, and I'm not interested in like really doing a ton of work to try to update it inside of Webpack. Instead, we're working on the module federation code base outside of Webpack. If people inside of Webpack want to integrate it, great. But the future of module federation that I'm working on, says the original author, is in RSPack and his external modules. So we might even be getting an upgrade, not just a lift and shift over to RSPack. But the big reason to go to RSPack is it's a tremendous speed boost. Jeremy has some timings on the PR that I posted about here. It looks like, well, I forget the timing, but it's something like an order of magnitude faster, like a 10x speed up in compiling all of JupyterLab. So anyway, there's a few things that we're working through in the year since Jeremy's worked on this. RSPack has gotten a lot better, so things are much more seamless. Oh, yes, I was going to ask William, since you're on. A year ago, you said in an issue somewhere that you were looking at RSPack. Have you, any advice? Okay.
It's extremely good technology.
Okay.
It's fantastic that TikTok people wrote that. And yeah, and it's really nice because it's just a drop-in replacement for Webpack. And it is so fast compared to Webpack. So glad it exists.
My one concern was the sentiment I saw from the module federation person essentially was, hey, we got to move faster than Webpack. And so we're not going to spend a lot of time trying to catch Webpack up. Like, you're welcome to take our work and integrate it, et cetera. But like, we have to move fast from what we're doing. And so that's not RSPack. That was the module federation stuff. But my question is around the governance of RSPack and just in general, are we adopting a liability by moving from Webpack, a very community-based project, to RSPack? Have you seen anything that would back up those sorts of concerns?
Not personally, but I haven't paid attention to I've just used it. So
okay.
I don't really know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Fantastic. Good.
I also use it with Next.js as a replacement. And so the fact that they're able to collaborate with the Next.js people and slot it in given kind of the situation is impressive. and that it actually works. So I don't know.
Good
I use it in multiple different ways, and it works well in all of them.
Fantastic. Okay, I'll take that as a huge +1 for us to move
Yeah.
over. The nice thing is it is a lift and shift, so it's actually not that hard to move back to Webpack, at least at this point. We're not depending on anything that is RSPack specific. We just get all the goodness, but we can run back to Webpack if there's any concerns around governance or the future of the RSPack project, etc.
Cool. And it's primarily a tool that changes your developer experience to be better, but like the net result at the end of the day that you're distributing is the same. So
In fact, like it's so much the same that we compiled JupyterLab with RSPack, and it can load the existing pre-built extensions that were compiled with the Webpack module federation. That's what to me made it like gold. That we don't have to wait for a huge community migration to RSPack. That it seamlessly works with all the third-party extensions already published. So at first I was thinking we would need to wait for a major release, but it actually feels like we can move over in a okay, Jeremy, you're shaking your head. Yeah, do you think we could move over in a minor release? I think it's literally an implementation detail.
That's my feeling too, but I think it depends who you ask. Like if you want to have like full compatibility with Webpack, it could be that some plugins are not supported. I don't know like what's the status, what the status is on community plugins. Even though we don't depend on that many plugins in core JupyterLab, it could be that some people out there just assume Webpack, base Webpack.
The JupyterLab builder package or whatever, if people wants to build their own lab extension, will they be building it still with Webpack, or will that be also moved to using RSPack with this PR?
So they could actually use RSPack today, and it will work. I tried to indict at the time of the
Right,
PR, and it's
they won't.
compatible.
That choice is completely separate from this one, because I know a lot of people do like Webpack integrations, and I think we exposed something in like the package JSON, like a field there to do Webpack config and stuff like that. So as long as that isn't affected.
But if there is like full compatibility between, well, it is a very big compatibility between RSPack and Webpack, I guess it would be fine to just keep the name webpack.config in the package.json, or have both, right? Supported like RSPack config and Webpack config, and they just point to the same thing.
But if we're talking at the config level, it's not compatible. Like most of our changes are small changes in our Webpack config.js, essentially, right? Moving from the mini CSS extract is what I'm working on right now, over to the RSPack version of it, which is compatible, but it is a change you have to make in the config file. So since we do provide an API escape hatch to modify the Webpack config, it would require a change. However, they can just use JupyterLab 4.5 to compile their extension, which uses Webpack. I mean, it can just be like, just use JupyterLab 4.5 to compile your extension, and it still will work. But if you want to use the RSPack, then use 4.6 beyond, or sorry, are we on 4.6? At 4.5 is where we are right now.
Yeah.
And 4.6 will use what RSPack. So there is a bit of a maybe migration pain here. Or we call the next version of JupyterLab JupyterLab 5. Like, that's not an out of the question thing, I think, right?
Maybe. And maybe also part of this work would be to move all of the big tools to that JupyterLab builder package.
Yeah, and I would want to do a TypeScript upgrade as well, which is another thing that's Jeremy did like 90% of it a year or two ago. But there's some loose ends to finish cleaning up. Okay, I will push forward on the RSPack. Jeremy has a couple to do items in his PR. That's what I'm working on essentially right now, and report back.
Thanks, Jason. I And then we have in the agenda next, well, I guess I think I'm up next. So I just wanted to give a little reminder about the community call happening on December 4th. It's a Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I have a link to the blog post so I can share it here in the chat as well. And that includes the HackMD, where you can access the agenda and sign up to share any updates. And if there are any questions about whether that is something that you can share at the community call, you can always email the community building working group. The email is also in that blog post. But we'd be happy to have any of you share your work that you're doing in the Jupyter ecosystem, or if you know someone who is doing some work that that the community can hear about, and they have time to present on December 4th, that would be great to have them there. In that blog post as well, there's links to previous community calls if anyone has not attended one and wants to see what they're like. It's pretty nice time with just contributors to Jupyter sharing all the work that they're doing. And that was it for me. I hope that we get to see more. I think there are currently no signups, but sometimes those come in later, closer to the time of the call anyway. But yeah, if the earlier we know that there's going to be people speaking, the better. So please take a look if you'd like to share.
Could you include signups link in the HackMD?
So the sign up is just adding your name to the section in the HackMD that has the agenda. So let me take a look here. In HackMD, there is a section there that says agenda items, and you can add your name and the name of the presentation you're giving or the talk. Yeah, that's all you need to do to sign up. If there are any questions there, we could always reach out to you. And
cool. Thanks, I myself, but
awesome. Okay, and I think up next is Jason. Did we want to record that conversation as well, or?
Yeah. Well, oh, sorry. First, a quick announcement. The Executive Council election for a 2-year term starting in January is going on right now. If you are on a council like the JupyterLab or Jupyter Frontends Council, you should have received a ballot for the election. I think the election, don't quote me on this, but I think the election ends a week and a half from now. So like
December
not this
7th.
weekend. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jake. Yes, December 7th. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have not received a ballot from opavote.com, I believe, opavote, then please reach out to the Executive Council and we'll make sure that you get a ballot resent. If you are on a front ends council, any Jupyter Council or working group, including the front ends council or the server council or the kernels council, I think that's, or the accessibility working group or the accessibility council. I think those are the groups that are nominally on this call. Anyway, if you did not get a ballot through OpaVote, I think it was sent out November. Jake, what did I say the other day?
Sent on last Friday, the 21st, I think.
Last Friday, the 21st. If you did not get a ballot, then please reach out and we'll make sure that gets sent to you. Or the trademarks group. I think that's some people here are on the trademarks group, etc. And then on the JupyterCon discussion, yeah, we could probably take that offline. Just any thoughts or follow up on JupyterCon, but we can probably take that off the recording.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. That will bring us to the end of the recorded portion of the agenda. So thanks everyone so much for joining, and we hope to see you next week.